Here we go. So we are starting up our fall series, which is cool. That we've got 3 dates on the calendar. I'm getting better. I'm building my muscle of planning ahead rather than seat of the britches all the time. So your emails have the dates of the upcoming circles. I even wrote them down on my piece of paper this morning. So after today, we've got October 11th and November 8th. So I'm excited about that. And by the way, that is the second Wednesday of the month. So we'll stick with that unless, a holiday interrupts or something. But today's focus is about letting go. And I didn't really think about it too much. I just kind of let inspirational words come to me when I'm sending out a message about a reminder. But I did afterwards think about that Labor Day weekend in New Mexico. Maybe some of you have heard of this or maybe even been to it. This is like a huge event in New Mexico, and it's on the Friday of Labor Day weekend. It's called Zozobra. Has anybody ever heard of it? No? So Zozobra this year was the 99th year to do it. And they build this huge, looks like a big scarecrow. It's 60 feet tall. And they make him look kind of weird and crazy. And he like in a big white gown. And Zozobra is going to get burned. So at the end of the evening, we had 65,000 people attending. Okay. So this is like a major event. And down at the bottom of Zozobra are the gloomies. And so, usually children dress up in, ghostly looking outfits, and they're called the gloomies. And so when they light the match to the Zozobra character, he goes up in flames and all the gloomies disappear. And so people are invited to put a piece of paper in a big container at the event of what you're letting go of. And so the message is that Zozobra is burning up. It's like a big burning ball, letting go of all the gloom and doom of the past or anything that you want to let go of. So that's going to be our focus for today. Maybe you didn't have a gloomy in your life, but we'll do a little smaller version, I guess, of that today. But before we get into the conversation a little bit more, let's just take a few minutes and close our eyes and invite in our energy, our supportive guides, beings, unseen friends, and people that may have planned to be here today or like to listen to the recording later. We invite them into the energy of the circle now. And just take a deep, relaxing breath. And as we center ourselves and our energy, we invite in a peace to join us, just a peace of mind, a peace of heart, whatever is maybe working on you, or maybe even so excited about you can't stay still. We know that whenever we let go, we create a void in our lives, which allows for room for something new to come in. And so our being here today is about liberating ourselves, letting go, opening up the space, releasing the past, being in the moment. And maybe there's somebody that needs a special extra amount of love today. Maybe it's yourself or somebody you know. Let's just, while our eyes are closed in a silent way, put them in the middle of our circle. and just beam love on them. We'll put ourselves in the circle, beam love on ourselves and each other. Love is the greatest power of the universe, and we have it in spades here today. And with that, take another relaxing breath, and when you're ready, come back to the call. Wow. So, a friend of mine died yesterday. I wanted to bring that to the call. That's who I put in the circle. Some of you might have remember a man that I was dating. We actually lived together for a period of time right after Alan died. His name was Geared, and he made his transition yesterday. Fought the fight, the health fight for a long time. So I just put his daughter and his family that may be grieving today in the circle. And I actually got a visit from him. I was feeling heavy yesterday afternoon when I first heard about it. And I had a lot of guilt. I was just feeling this heaviness that I maxed out on being able to answer his calls. Like he was calling, and for the last few weeks, I just didn't answer. And I felt a lot of guilt about that. But I just couldn't do it anymore. And I had to take care of myself over taking care of somebody else. So I felt guilty about that. And I went upstairs to lay down for a minute. And next thing I knew, I heard, "Hi, Jan." I was real happy. I'm like, "Garrett, oh my gosh," there he was, in essence. And he said, "Don't feel sad. Don't feel guilty. I knew you couldn't respond, and it's okay." And he said, "I'm in a great place." And he said, "I'm free. I'm free." So it was, it was sweet. I was happy. I'm still a little sad that I won't, drop by and say hi or have a cup of tea with him. But he was a friend, and I let him go. So that was, I didn't know that was going to be part of my call today, but that's a nice way to let go of somebody, is to free myself from that feeling of that I should have done something different. And I did everything just fine. So that was one of my letting goes of most recently. And so I'm also excited to hear what you're letting go of. And I'll just give you a minute. Everybody's got their paper, right? We were talking about it. You don't have to write it down, but if you want to, you can. I'll give you a minute. What do you want to let go of? That's the question on the table. What do you want to let go of? And what would you like liberation from or to? It's kind of similar, but maybe a little different context depending on how you use it. And thanks for the chats. Yeah. So letting go of or liberation to or from. So who wants to share? What are you letting go of? I'll give you a minute if you need it, but if you're ready.
I'm ready.
You're ready? Okay, Jan.
Yep.
That didn't take long. You're ready.
I am, because I had already let it go. So
Okay.
Today, I don't know if I had shared with you all last month that I was getting ready to do a surprise birthday party for my son, who just turned 50, and today is actually his birthday. But we did a surprise birthday party over the whole weekend. Actually, so I'm in Colorado. We had two of his high school friends flew in from Virginia, and my middle son flew in from Washington, D.C. And then we had all the people here. So we had a group of about 27 people that were surprised for him. But the letting go part for me was we started planning this, my daughter-in-law and myself, we started planning this in the end of June. And as the time got closer to everything and trying to figure out how we were going to surprise Brad, trying to keep a secret is like so hard. And we were trying, the party was going to be on Saturday and everybody was flying in on Friday. And so we were trying to figure out how to get him out of the house on Saturday. Well, trying to get him out of the house was like pulling teeth. So we had to like totally regroup. And I had lost sleep over this with trying to figure out how do we do this? How do we make this happen? How do we do this? So it wasn't like control, but it was like the old me, but still me, evidently, and trying to figure everything out to make everything just right. And so anyway, on Wednesday, we figured that we were going to have to regroup and we would surprise Brad Friday night with just the Virginia friends and my son. And then we were also flying in his son from Tucson from college as a surprise. And so we had to switch it where Will was going to be over at their house Saturday morning, which I couldn't see Brad, which I had really wanted to because I was doing all the food for the whole thing. So there wasn't any way I could be there Saturday. So I was just like really bummed about how, oh my gosh, my plan that I had just wasn't working out, and this type of thing. And I was at work and I was telling a friend about it, and the biggest disappointment was not being able to see my grandson Will and see each other. So I told Trish at work, I said, there's nothing I can do about it. I said, everybody's doing the best that they can do with making this a surprise and everything like that. So anyway, Friday we went there and we surprised him, and it was Carmen and Brian, husband and wife, Freddie and my son and myself, and we surprised Brett, and it was absolutely perfect. And the most perfect part of it was that we all had this time, one-on-one time, that if everybody had been there for the party Saturday, all 27 people, he would not have had that bonding time with his friends and everything like that. And then with Will, they took videos with me seeing Will. And so his party was perfect. And Sunday, I mean, the whole thing was perfect. And I sat back Monday, after I'd taken my son to the airport, and I literally cried. It makes me cry now because I realized again, when we let go and we just trust that things just fall into place exactly the way they are supposed to. And I'm still so full of gratitude from the universe. I'm just so full. So my letting go was letting go of the expectations of how things should be,
I heard several letting goes.
Yeah, it was just
Yeah.
so good. Oh
Letting
my God, it
go
was so
of
good. Yeah.
it having to be a certain way, letting go of control, letting go
Yep.
of your expectation, as you
Yep.
said. I heard lots of letting goes.
Yeah.
I was drawing a card when you were sharing, and I drew the card that's called Door to Spirit. It's kind of glary, but it just shows a beautiful golden door. And that's what I heard in your share, was that when we let go, the door to spirit opens and it allows something better to even take place.
It is so true. So true. Yeah.
Thank you. Beautiful. Hey, Mark, welcome. Glad you're here. All right.
Sorry, I moved my call so that I could be here,
I
and then
know.
she ran over anyway.
Okay. No problem. No problem. Let's see. Who wants to go next?
I can go next.
Okay. Thanks, Megan.
So, I'm not feeling well today. I've had a massive dose of poison ivy, so I'm kind of in a receding mode. But when you introduced that, and this is definitely a very private thing, But then when you said letting go, this was the first thing. If I can get through with this, I don't know if I'm going to be able to or not.
Take your time.
This is definitely something that I've been struggling with for a long time.
Mm.
Well, maybe within the last year. So I love Russell's parents dearly. And there have been some things that have occurred over the last year to 18 months that have been very hurtful. And I have been unable to recover my deep love, even though I know it's there. It's not the same as it was. It's like something was broken and it hasn't been fixed yet. And I don't quite know how to fix it. And so I would like to let go of that. And I would like to move towards a new relationship with them that doesn't hold the past. And just enjoy them for who they are now. I suppose I would say it like that.
Breathe that in. Oh my gosh, that was huge, huge. Let's all just breathe in with Megan. We all know somebody like this. We do. Yeah. And that was so powerful that you said this, that I'm starting a new relationship with them. Good job. Congratulations. I honor you for your letting go. Yeah.
Oh, well,
Mm.
thank you.
What a gift. I had a wonderful mentor, spiritual mentor named Zoe. She passed away several years ago, but she lived in Tomball, Texas. And she always wore purple and she had red hair. I mean, she was just like, you gotta love her. But she used to say, let the jail door open. Let that jail door swing open. When I put someone in my prison because of something I'm holding against them, she said, it's just hard on me. And that's what I heard. You let that jail door open.
Oh. Yeah, I feel the relief, I think, to say it.
Yeah.
I mean, I have said it to Russell, but I've never said it to anybody else.
That's the power in our group, is being able to be heard and to say your truth. And we honor you for that.
Thank you.
Are you complete for now? Do you want to just be for
Yeah.
not
No,
like you need a mother any more powerful share than that? Beautiful. Okay. Woo. All right. Who else like to share something?
Last Thursday, my son had an accidental overdose. Turned out it was fentanyl.
Mm.
It was, I'll spare you the details, but it was the worst and the best of times for his addict to be acting up, because he goes to court tomorrow with a lot of issues around custody things for his son. And day by day, we've been, my sister and I, is she's a gentle warrior, and she is determined that the court needs to hear this story, because the court ordered that he not use, and that this was drinking, not drugs, that he not use around his son within 24 hours, and that was abused last week. And So every day it's a letting go of what to do, how to feel, giving it over to God, letting go, letting God. It's a perfect focus for today.
Mhm.
It's been, my sister is determined that the court needs to hear about this, and it's very scary because the mother of his child has taken him away from my son and the rest of us in the past, and that's part of what we hope this court case addresses. That whether or not my son is there, that we, as his family, will have at least some time with our grandson instead of she taking over and forgetting that we exist. And so it's a really very big time, trying time, sad time, and yet thinking that perhaps this is the best timing. Hoping that when he kind of wakes up a little bit out of his attic, that he can see that he needs help, and that perhaps the judge would even order help. I don't know, but today is our little guy's 5th birthday, so we're hoping for a really happy day today, and we don't know what happens after this, but we're going to enjoy to the best of our ability today.
Yeah.
And let go and let God the rest of the time.
Yeah. So I drew some cards for Megan and Anne, both of you. And I think they apply to both situations. One is, I'm going to just, the word is on the card is indecision, but it shows a woman in a red cape with like little Red Riding Hood. And she's looking at a fork in the road, like there's two directions to go. And then the other one is door to personal healing and happiness. And, I'm not trying to tell you how to believe, but this kind of like in my belief system that, we come to this planet for developing our soul, and we make choices that is going to take us in one direction or another. And we never really know for another person what's it going to take for them to have, health and healing, happiness and healing. Sometimes it's a catastrophe, a tragedy looking situation. Sometimes it's happier, like a birthday party would be happy. But sometimes we just have to let the world fall apart, just, okay, my dog likes my new sofa. She's in the back. Anyway, we have to be willing to let things happen as they happen. It's not our job to say this shouldn't be, or okay, I wouldn't have picked that if I was picking, but how about letting ourselves off the hook that we shoulda, coulda, woulda done something better, different, or changed, and just let that go. And so good job, Anne, for letting go of something that's, tied so closely to your heart strings. And look how I just see you getting stronger and stronger all the time through this.
Thank you. And thank you, Mark.
A mother's tears, So yeah, we shed the tears, but at the same time, internally, we're getting what we need out of that experience. So to both you, Megan and Anne, letting that door open to healing and happiness today. Well, let's hear from a guy. Oh, a guy. How's that?
Yeah, that could work.
Maybe I'm calling on a guy, like someone named Guy. Okay.
Hello, everyone. thanks for sharing that, Anne. It's I wish you well with that. I've been through that with members of my family as well. So yeah, great. So well, letting go. Well, I did a lot of letting go. I took 10 days off in just the end of August until about Labor Day, and didn't do anything. There's a farm. A friend has a farm about 10 minutes drive from my house. It has this incredible pond on it they've put in sand, and there's some willow trees and a couple of kayaks there. And very few people go there. He leaves it open to a lot of people. I just went there every afternoon for for a lot of my vacation. Spent a few hours there, and I just brought a book with me, had the phone off, and that was like that was just like, wow. Just I don't know what was letting go, but just like all of it. Just
Well, let your hair down, so to speak.
yeah, I mean, it was just sitting there like the nothing in nature. I really needed that, so it's kind of opened up a lot of space. And I had an experience the other day, which kind of ties into a theme, and the theme is unreciprocated love. And this was actually related to more kind of my work and art, but a couple of months ago I talked with the owner of one of there's like two kind of prestigious galleries in our town. There's a bunch of other galleries, but two that are kind of the sort of quality galleries. And I kind of talked to him about exhibiting my work that I've been doing for 15 years. And he said, yeah, I was interested and liked photography, and he gave me an email address. I sent him a presentation and never heard anything back. So I emailed him again and said, did you get what I sent you? Never heard back from him. So I kind of didn't feel good about that. And this theme shows up a lot in my life. So, but the funny thing was the frequency of it really, I don't really have a good feeling actually about this guy, anyway, but it still kind of annoyed me. And I did manage to get his phone number from somebody. I mean, I know him reasonably well. I mean, I know him a little bit, like in our town, everybody knows everybody. So I was going to call him, and I thought, I don't want to do that. I'll just wait until I bump into him. And then I bumped into him, and I asked him, I said, oh, I sent you a couple of emails. Did you get them? And I don't know, some story, oh, that doesn't forward to my new account and this and that, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So, and then he said, well, we're just not doing photography at the moment. We've done a lot of photography. We're not going to do it again. So it's very dismissive. Like he didn't even, like he wasn't even, so he wasn't even making an opening to see my work, he just saying no, And I kind of said to him, well, I just wanted to, it's okay if you don't have space. I just wanted to see my work. And he said, sure, you can use this email address, blah, blah, blah. And then I walked away from him, and I said, no, I'm not gonna send anything to this guy. It's like, why pursue where I'm not loved and appreciated? And there's another space in town that's not as prestigious as that space. And I did a mini show there, and the owner of that space said, oh, I'd love to do something bigger with you anytime, And I go like, well, that's where the love is,
Go for the love, buddy.
Yeah, that's where the love is, and so it's the same thing. And I got a couple of other kind of relationships that mainly carried on through the interweb, and where I'm kind of always reaching out, and then they're coming back. But I let that all go, where the unreciprocated love. And yeah, so that was my learning from that, is go where the love is, go where I'm loved and appreciated. It doesn't mean, I mean, I think there's a value. Sometimes you have to follow up and kick a door in sometimes to get your shoe in some places, but it's also, I mean, I think generally relate to this. It's like intuition is like, I kind of knew from the beginning,
I was just going to say intuition, go with your intuition.
Yeah. And Yeah, that's good. And another thing I'm letting go of, I kind of joined a men's group last week just to help with some kind of issues that I've kind of struggled with for a long time. And that's also letting go. It's like letting go of my ego, saying that I can handle this by myself, you know, and saying I'm willing to join a group and get some support.
Yeah.
That letting go of the notion that I can do it all myself and I can handle this and I don't.
Right.
Yeah, so that was cool as well. And I'm glad I did actually. It kind of made it made a shift.
Mm. Yeah, I want to underscore intuition. That was shouting in my ears, like, you're following your intuition, you know. And frequency. Like, the guy didn't have the frequency that was right for you in your
Mhm.
work. And that, to underscore, using that as your contrast of not that, because the frequency and my intuition was saying, no, all wrong, all wrong. And then, just following where the love is the high vibration. And if somebody isn't, returning the love, then that's a lower frequency, a lower vibration, and it's not a match. So
Yeah, I mean, it was another thing too. Thanks, Jen, is about, yeah, I don't have a thing of like not being acknowledged and not being thanked, not being appreciated. And there was another case in town where I referred a lead to he's a documentary filmmaker, and I found a very interesting story for him. It was about a very famous photographer that went to the college here many, many years ago, and he didn't know about it. And he makes documentaries about these things. And he was making a documentary about the alumni of that college. And it was a really great lead for him. And I gave it to him and he never said thank you. He never responded. And same thing, I ran into him. I said, hey, what happened to that? I sent you that lead, and he goes, oh, we already sent a film crew down to interview her. And documentaries coming out and this woman's featured in it. And I definitely had like an issue with that. Like, wow, that guy didn't, I set him up with that and he didn't say thank you or anything. But I walked away from I started to have some reflection and I said, it doesn't matter. I made that happen.
that's right.
It doesn't matter whether he said thank you or not. I made that happen. That woman's probably really thrilled to be featured in the documentary. A lot of people are going to see it. And I made that thing happen. And whether he showed any appreciation to me or not. But there was a second aspect of that. Like, next time I won't give it to him. I'll call the person up myself and, and create a connection with her and see what comes from it. So anyway, that's it. Good. Thanks, Jen.
Thanks, Guy. Woo, lots going on. What else? Anybody? Marcus,
And life feels pretty quiet compared to everyone else. I'm just here in love and support.
okay. Yeah, I was thinking about how so as y'all know, you talked to me probably, or maybe didn't know, but this time last year I went to Morocco. And this year they've had this most devastating earthquake in history, right in the area where I was, the high Atlas Mountains and different areas. And I checked in with the two tour guides that I had there, and they're fine, but traumatized. Oh gosh, what's the moral of that story? That our intuition, I think that really the intuition is what's keen here for me, is that I'm not even really acknowledging how strong my intuition is, like, things are happening. I'm like, oh, wow, that's like, I already knew that, I'm like, I'm always surprised because intuition doesn't come with a neon lights around it going, look at this. But, I heard that in everybody's share today, that how strong your intuition is and becoming, and that, that the door is opening wider. And so, like last year, right before I went to Morocco, I pulled the plug on my CRM system. All the courses in Kajabi went away. I did transfer the whole list into an Excel spreadsheet, but other than that, anything else that I stored there, classes, recordings, email, yeah, all that, I just went, gone, not ever doing this again. And so I think it was important for me to go to Morocco, to take some time away. I've been just, goofing off. And I truly believe that in order for, sometimes one door has to close and another, it's so trite sounding, but Mom said it all the time, one door closes, another opens. You're like, yeah. But I really felt like the love door had to open for me, like I struggled with this for a long time. And so when I opened myself to be loved and love myself and be loved by another this summer, like all of a sudden new doors started opening. And so I'm going to teach a class, that came forward, this was kind of like, see if I like it still, I love this group. I love you. I love this call but it was a small commitment, it's only once a month and easy to manage, but it was a door opening to let myself be true to my purpose and who I'm all about. But I had to find love inside of me before I could love you. And so now I'm ready to take another little further step, that I am going to open the door to a divine blueprint class. And so I just knew I want to say everything completely different. I don't want to talk about the same old thing. I want, a whole nother message. And so Mark's been helping me and Peter's helped me, to kind of like re-spin my direction. And I believed that the whole thing that allowed that was I had to close a door and open a door, close a door, open a door. And it didn't always look, like a clear, it wasn't a straight line to that. And it had to feel good inside of here. And so anyway, I'll tell you about that today, but I wanted to weave that into our letting go conversation. Jen, what were you saying?
We lost your sound.
No. Are you, did I
Can't hear you.
Can't hear me?
Now.
Now? My internet, of course. Will somebody else share? I will come back to this conversation. Can you hear me now? Okay. So let somebody else share. Maybe that struck a nerve for somebody about opening, closing doors, letting go. Love to hear from you.
I'll share a little bit. What's occurring to me, like as you're all speaking, and what I would like to let go, or that I am letting go, is like resignation and cynicism is one that strikes, what stories I make up in my head about right, wrong, good, bad, all that, and such that love is more present. Not like I'm that in life, but I get that when I'm like that, that's really takes me away from love, like whatever goes on in my ego, my head. And particular in terms of relationships with the people I have and being able to fully communicate. So what, we get a little pissed off with each other. Like, I just need to let that cynicism and resignation and particularly towards myself, you know, I'm not lovable. Oh yeah, I understand why they wouldn't want to do this, that, or so it's all that underlying. So if I want to bare my soul, that's what I want to get rid of or let go of, is when that shows up in life, let that go. It's just rant, 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 rant. That's all. And it's interesting, this is my second time to this call, and Jan, you sharing that, you know, a friend of yours has passed, and Anne sharing about her son. And then I had a friend who's, you know, the police found their son dead, looks like an overdose of drug and alcohol, and just this, you know, and I brought the mom into the circle today, and just being able to, you know, a mom having to deal with that, you know, it's just, yeah. So I'm, you know, just to hear you guys share about yours just makes that a little more real and a little more precious.
Yeah, you know, it does it brings to my mind that, like the earthquake in Morocco. I'm glad I didn't wait. Now, if I'd said, oh, well, maybe I'll go next year or something, you know, something said, go now. Now's the time. Go now. But there's so many of those kind of things. Don't wait. If I'm being nudged into, you know, spirit or my intuition is nudging me, it's a why wait? Don't wait. It's not even why wait. Don't wait. Now. So, yeah.
I know I can barely watch the news without having something. It's just so, you know, something in the world is going.
I don't watch the news, you know, for
Yeah.
that reason. I figure if there's something I need to know, it'll come to me. Like the Moroccan thing. So,
And just a real quick suggestion around news. Something I've done is a news diet where I still want to consume news. I just don't want to consume as much. So I just check it once a week. It's the same news every single day. I noticed that. I'm like, all right, I'll just check it on Fridays or check it on Mondays.
I love that news diet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on a news diet.
And we all know it doesn't matter which side of the fence you're on. All news is meant to sell news, and they want to sell fear, and fear sells more than anything else. So that's what they keep putting out.
Yeah. True. All right. Thanks, Louise, for that. And I love what you're giving up, that cynicism diet you're on. Cool. Lena, you want to throw anything into the bucket here?
Yeah, so it's interesting because what I wrote down earlier was stagnation to flow, just because I've been feeling really, really stuck. And I'm starting to move out of it. Yeah, and that's just where I want to go. And then after just listening to everybody and, you know, the love thing, it's like I just wrote down, let the love flow. So it's like, just let it, you know, because that's what happens. It's like when you are in that space of full connection, all it is pure love, and everything just flows to you. So just let it be there.
Yeah.
Allow it.
Yeah. Allow it in and allow it out. Yeah. Cool. Okay, Mark, I know you're just an active listener today, but anything else you want to throw into our juicy topic today?
about letting go.
Whatever. Let's tell us something beautiful about your life. I know you got a lot of things you're creating. Anything you want to tell us about?
Yeah, life is really, really good almost all the time. And when it's really interesting, I noticed that I was thinking about this yesterday. People who have a lot of challenges all the time deal with challenges very well. And when life is usually very, very smooth and easy for you, something as simple as a dead battery can really throw you for a loop. And yesterday, Renee was on her way out while I was on a call, and the car had a hard time starting. And I was like, oh my gosh, I noticed this a little bit yesterday. And I thought it was just because somebody left a light on, but clearly it's the battery. And so she went to Walmart to get it replaced. They said, we can sell you a battery, but we can't replace it until tomorrow. All our mechanics are busy till tomorrow. And she said, well, that won't work. And so she came home crying because she had to go pick up Eden and was afraid now of breaking down with Eden in the car, and was like, okay, I'll have to go rent a car to go pick up instead of getting a new battery. So I said, I will cancel all my calls and I will go get a battery. And so I brought it to Advanced Auto Parts. And they said, yeah, we can replace it, but we can't. Oh, yeah. First they said he could change it. But then when I told him the correct year, he's like, oh no, the book says, do not change this. You need to go to a mechanic. But let me look and see if I can do it anyway. And he went out there, and there's no way I would have been able to change a battery. A battery is the simplest, easiest thing to do in a car, but it is so tight. Like, it was just, it took him 20 minutes to get it out. I was helping him, and I was just grateful, extremely grateful for a battery replacement. It didn't happen on the side of a road. It didn't happen with somebody's stock. There's never a good time for a bad thing to happen, but it was the best time that it could have been. The people that I had calls with had no problem rescheduling, and to Renee, I was a hero for going to change a battery. So when life is good, little things can throw you for a loop. But
I know, it's so
go through it.
So true.
But on the other hand, look how you were taken care of. The universe supported you.
I want to share one more real quick story too, because Renee is really independent and self-reliant, and doesn't ask for help from anyone. And I like to ask for help from everyone. In fact, sometimes Renee gets annoyed with me asking for help instead of just going to do it. But I was took my daughter to Target last night because they released the dog, Bullseye, and she saw a TikTok with the Bullseye, and so she wanted to go there before they sold out. But we went to the front area where all the cool special stuff is, and it wasn't there. So we were leaving. We were called the other Target to see if they had it. And I was like, well, maybe it's in the toy section. So we went back to the toy section. It wasn't there. But the whole time I was trying to call the other store and they wouldn't answer. So I went to the customer service and said, maybe you could help me get a hold of the other store to find out if they have what you don't. And she said, well, what are you looking for? And she said, oh, that usually comes out with the books that come out on Friday. Let me go ask the book guy. He happens to be right here. So he's like, oh yeah, we're not going to stock that until Friday. They're out they're in the back warehouse. And she goes, oh, let me go get you one. So she went back to the back warehouse. It took her a few minutes because on the way back, people kept asking for help. But we were just patiently waiting because we were hoping that we would actually get the dog. And we did. She brought it back in a box so that nobody would ask for it because it hadn't been released yet. But again, to my daughter, I was a hero because I asked for help. And she knew that if Renee was there, they would have saw that it wasn't there and they would have gone home and said, nope, it's not possible.
I think you need a Superman t-shirt. I think that's just what makes you tick, is you are a total hero. You're always a hero for me too. So
asking for help. I try to work my ask muscles almost every day.
That's great. That's great.
My share.
Also, I was thinking about batteries in cars, and in dream symbology, our car represents self. And so, you could just say that maybe Renee's battery had run out and she needed the hero to come in and juice her battery up or get her a new battery so she could run a little bit more.
In Louise Hay's book, You Can Heal Your Life, she talks about all the different meanings of things that go wrong with our bodies. And I've always done the same thing with my car or my house or anything else. When something goes wrong, it's like, oh, the plumbing's not working. Is there something wrong with my plumbing? Or the battery's not recharging? Maybe there's a problem with not charging my battery, or the alternator goes out where there's no way to charge the battery. That's a big one.
Oh, I had fun unpacking my car wreck I had last December. Okay, that was a wreck. All right, what's that all about? So I did tie it in. It did allow me to do some big digging and healing too. So all right, so I just wanted to tell you that I am going to do a call, an introductory call, to let you know about the upcoming Divine Blueprint class. And I'm hoping that each of you would love to be in that, because I'd love for you to be part of that. And I'm going to do on a Wednesday. I know that's Jan's free day. So I love Wednesday. I love the concept of Wednesdays anyway. So the first one will be next week, which is the 20th of September, and it'll be at 9 a.m. Mountain. And if you can't make that one, I'll do another one the following week, September 27th at 11 a.m., same as today time frame. So just adjust that for your time zone. And I'll send out emails about it, of course. But everybody here, I believe, has experienced strategic attraction, right? No, Louise? Well, doesn't matter. Yes. The Divine Blueprint is being reinvented from strategic attraction. So I'm still playing with some of the titles, that it could be Divine Blueprint, creating your ideal life through the Divine Blueprint is one that I'm thinking about. But the attraction plan was 5 steps, and I'm thinking about, like discovering your divine essence would be one step. Divining your life's blueprint is another. Align with universal energy, nurturing divine relationships, and embodying your divine self. So those are kind of 5 parts of the attraction plan remake. I shouldn't even probably mention it, but so many of you here are so familiar with it that it won't be really anything like attracting perfect customers. It's going to be like a whole different frequency and level of how to, just get in touch with your divine essence. I mean, it will be so powerful. And it's a great timing, I believe, for all of us, in that it's going to start in October. So it'll be October, November, December, twice a month, each of those months. And then your new year is right around the corner. So it can help you to put some structure in planning ahead, getting ready for where you want to be going. And so for that reason, I think it's great timing. Also in numerology, October 10, the 10th month, is like a 1. So it's good for new beginnings. I like that. And so I am going to share that with some other people. I'll put out a notice about it and see if anybody else is interested. But I'd love to offer it to you guys at a reduced rate, and I'll send you an email about that. I don't even know what I'm going to charge for it yet, but I do want to give you guys, since you've been the Sacred Synchronicity Circle space holders, an opportunity to share in at a financially better rate, or even a scholarship if that would work for you better. Whatever it takes, I want you to be part of this. And so reach out to me, let me know if you're interested. If you would, you can put it in the chat, or you can send me a note later, or text me, and we'll talk. So that's my invite. Watch for an email coming, and come as I open more doors. The door seems to really just be my sign, let's say, of what this message is about. Opening doors, and today was a good start in that direction, I think.
Hmm.
So thank you for being you and getting some messages that you're interested. Thank you for that. And any one word, let's close our circle. What's 1 or 2 words that you would like to use to complete on today?
Gratitude.
Nice.
Love and gratitude.
Nice.
Love.
Love. Yeah.
Love and gratitude.
Love and gratitude. Okay. So
Thankfulness and sharing.
And Jan says joy. And your story was so wonderful to share. Thank you for sharing your story.
yeah.
Very fun thing.
Yeah. Okay. I just love the support and love and gratitude, but I like everything everybody said.
Quite blessed with support late this week. This is actually my friends in a group yesterday said find a touchstone to hold to remind you that we love you. So I have this little like worry stone kind of thing.
Mm.
I've been blessed.
Yeah.
So blessings, we'll put that in there too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love that. Okay.
Thanks so much, Jan, for all of this.
Thanks
Thank
very much.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Next
Thank
call,
you.
October 11th. Don't forget. And next
All right.
week, of course. I'm going to just talk to you all the time. All right. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Everybody,
everybody.
bye-bye.